Research Organization. I am now the former owner, pardon me, and after 38 years, I believe I paid my dues and everything, but the thing about it is bad health, and my wife got bad health, and both of us have been married for quite a while. We both did research together. Now, a lot of people know us out there in the Bigfoot world and everything, but we turned this over to a new gentleman here in the state of Indiana, in Martinsville, up close to Morgan Monroe State Forest, which to us is the gateway to the Bigfoot here in the state of Indiana. Sitting next to me is Lonnie Hawks. He is our associate out of Henderson, Kentucky, and he is from the Kentucky Bigfoot Researchers. And the gentleman that I'm turning this over to is an enthusiastic. He's a people breeder, and he's got the technical know-how. He's got the research behind him. He knows how to be able to talk to people and lead people. So in my book, he is the perfect person to be able to turn the Indiana Bigfoot Research Organization over. And his name is Leroy Nail. And folks, I'd like you to be able to meet Leroy tonight. And I want you to be able to put your trust in him. And once you meet him, you're really going to be blessed. Leroy?
I can't even start to say thanks for what you say. I mean, that's humbling. It's very humbling. But I have lived in this area my whole life. I'm 54 years old and know this Morgan Monroe forestry, just about every bit of it. So as I'm learning things, I think I'll be able to get out there and we're going to actually be able to find a lot more tracks around here and try to get a lot more evidence than what we've had in the recent years. So I believe that we're going to really pull a group together, and I can't wait to actually get into this and build us a team up of some more researchers in this area, and I hope the ones that's out there get a hold of me and let me know who's researching and where you're at, because we need to know that information so we can get this really under control in Indiana.
I agree.
My name is Lonnie Hawks. I'm the owner of Kentucky Bigfoot Researchers. I am now associated with Leroy Nail and the Indiana Bigfoot Research Organization. We've decided that we're going to merge in with them and share information with them, and as well as them share information with us. But also, we're going to also go back and help them with, things that maybe they don't know or can't explain, or stuff that we don't know and can't explain. We're going to feed off of each other's information to make us, both groups, better researchers in what we're doing. And we do the camp out every year at Morgan Monroe, and I come up this year, we sponsor, and and we take people out, and it don't cost, other than you coming up paying for your camping spots. We don't charge to teach people and show them how we do stuff. But, Leroy, we've decided to merge in with them. So, he's not only going to have Indiana, we're going to have Kentucky, and we're both going to be able to share information. So if they want to come to Kentucky and research, they have spots they can come to. If I got members of my group that want to come to Indiana, to Morgan Monroe, or anywhere in Indiana and research, they can come to Leroy Nail, and they can actually ask him about spots, and he can send them in the right direction, and that's part of researching. When you take researchers and they come to an area and they don't know nobody, they need people to be able to send them in right directions. Anybody can walk around in the woods, don't get me wrong, but you got to be able to walk around in the woods where they've been spotted, seen, or there's been reports, sightings, and you try to get in to get this all done. So, we're just happy to say that we're really proud to be associated with the Indiana Bigfoot Researchers and merged in with them. So if you need to get a hold of me, if you're in Kentucky and you want to get in my group, all you have to do is go to Kentucky Bigfoot Researchers. Actually, you can send me a friend request on Facebook to Lonnie Hawks, and I will instantly add you to the Kentucky Bigfoot Researchers group, and you will become a member. and then you can go from there and learn off of us researching and how we do stuff and go on outings with us. So, with that being said, we're very happy that we've merged in with Indiana Bigfoot Research Organization.
Yeah, the Indiana group here, we are ecstatic to be able to merge in with such a good group. These guys have such experience and learned so much off of them in just a matter of a couple days that spending any time at all with them, I can't imagine what we'll pick up. And we'll bring all the older experienced investigators together, some of the newer ones, and I think we'll have a great time and learn a lot more.
Definitely.
Well, we also, it's not all about older people either, Leroy. I mean, we in your group and my group, we also, we're going to have junior researchers, so that when we get up older and we want to quit and just stay at, and do the computer work, we're going to have researchers that are coming along that they can do the footwork for us. So we're going to take on junior researchers. I have junior researchers in Kentucky Bigfoot Research Organization. In Kentucky Bigfoot Researchers that we do. And, we take junior researchers and take them out and teach them. So later on, when we get older, I want to be able to stay at home and do the computer work and let them do the footwork. And it gets them involved. It gets them off the computers, it gets them in the woods, and it gets them out and about, and it makes for better family, outings and stuff. We have a great time with kids with us camping on these outings.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, this weekend, we had some kids with us, and that was some of the most fun that I had, was actually taking those kids out and letting them make some tree knocks and getting them involved. That was just a fun thing to do, and I believe that they'll always remember that, and hopefully they'll be back.
Oh, they will.
They'll bring their dad back, or they'll bring their mom back, and say, we need to go do that some more.
Also, if you look at me, I ain't got no hair on my head, and I'm old. I'll be 67 years old, and we got to start thinking about the younger generation, bringing these people in and teaching them so they can continue doing what we are doing in the future. To me, that's very, very important, because they're the lifeblood of what goes on in our nation. So why shouldn't it be the lifeblood of doing what we're doing in the forest, saving the forest, teaching an education that's not taught in schools or by the government, which hides it, and going forth. And the more people we teach, the more times we get more younger people in, they are going to be able to expand their knowledge and get this thing really growing in the future. So when the time does come, people will understand, hey, maybe this thing is real and not just a Native American legend.
Lonnie, how many years have you been actually researching?
I've actually been researching for 20 years. I started out researching back the first time, before I owned a farm, here's how I actually got into researching. I was out hunting when I was younger at a deer camp, and I'd been dropped off at a fire break, and got out of the truck and was going to walk up to my deer spot and actually seen, a glimpse of a Bigfoot walk across the road. Did I think I seen what I seen was real? Absolutely. Scared to go back to the camp because I was afraid everybody would make fun of me. I didn't want to go in there and have them actually say, well, you didn't see this or you didn't see that. Well, you know what? I didn't say nothing to nobody for a long time. Well, the guy that I worked with actually come to me later on and said, hey, you know what? I don't know if you're going to believe me or not. You're probably going to think I'm crazy, but I thought I seen a Bigfoot back there one time when I was deer hunting. I said, well, you ain't crazy because I seen it. So I really didn't stick around much into that area of hunting, which I actually researched that area now, and it's in Meade County. But they actually, later on, I started out, getting interested in it and watching stuff and reading books and getting in the woods. And then 14 years ago, I buy a farm in Ohio County, Kentucky. I go out one morning to go deer hunting. I get in my tree stand. This is before daylight. Sit there, and a guy comes in on his four-wheeler, goes down to a creek bottom, and he gets out his four-wheeler, gets on his tree stand, and starts to climb the tree. What happens? A Bigfoot walks across in front of him, squats down, and watches this guy climb this tree. Now, where this is at, there's actually photos that's off of a property that joins our property. That there's actually three pictures of, there's pictures of three different Bigfoots. There's a picture of a male, a female, and a juvenile. And we actually go there and I look at this thing, through my scope, watching it with a gun. Did I want to kill it? Well, no, because I wasn't for sure at the time. Could it have been somebody in a suit? What could it have been human? No, I'm not going to kill something that's not hurting me. Was I scared? Absolutely, I was scared to death. Yeah. I was scared for my life. Not scared because I could see it was going to hurt me. I was scared because there was two more of them that we have pictures of that we didn't know where they was at. I watched this guy get up this tree, go to untie his feet, it stands up, walks around the hill behind him. I'm thinking, okay, if this one's here, where's the other? So what do? I get scared. I get out of my tree stand. I walk down to where this guy is. I walk up to his tree stand and said, "Did you see anything yet?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, you have a nice day." And I went back to the cabin. I did not hunt on that property for 4 years after that happened. I did not go back there for 4 years because of what had happened, what I saw. This has happened there since we've owned this property. There's been several sightings on our property. Several times that we've heard stuff, howls, tree knocks, the whoops, the screaming, and not only have I heard it, my dad's heard it, my whole family's heard it. And when we take people down there and research that area, after 4 years, I said, this is enough. I own this property. I'm going to research it. I get out and I start researching it. We end up taking Boy Scouts out and letting them go out with other groups and see what we have there. Every time I've been out on this property, we have had a successful outing. Every time something has happened. We actually, like I said, took out 26 Boy Scouts. Out of 26 Boy Scouts, 25 of them was ready to come back. The 26th one said, "I live in the city and there's security lights, and I will never leave the city again," because he got scared. But was he safe? Yes, he was safe. Nothing happened to nobody. And we brought him out of the woods, and they're, and I'm in talk to Troop 454, Joe Ballou out of Tennessee, and they come up and they're wanting to come up and do a camp out again. We're going to do that. That's how I come about to being a researcher.
Now you mentioned that there was a male, a female,
and a juvenile.
So that brings up questions. The lifespan and do they mate together? Stay together. Do they mate for life?
Yeah.
Or
once they're basically, when they pair up in a group, you have a dominant male. Like with any other animal, you always have that dominancy. And in a group, if you have males, okay, you're going to have a female that's going to have a male baby Bigfoot. When that happens, and the male becomes mature enough to breed in that group, like any other species of animal, if it tries to breed in that group, naturally the dominant male is going to run it away from the group and put it out on its own. Just like with deer, with coyotes, anything like that tries to breed in a group that's male, they push them out. Deer are real bad about it. They push all the younger bucks out when they become mature enough to breed. And that's where you come in with you will see a lot more females than you do males when you find a group of these. You're not going to find a group that's probably, it's going to be 75-25. You're going to probably have 20%, 25% males versus 75% females, because the dominant male is not going to keep the males that are mature enough to breed in a group. So he's going to run them off. Either they'll run them off, or they'll end up hurting them, and they'll make it bad enough to where they could kill them. So,
Steve, between the male and the female, then in the clan, is the female the more dominant one that controls the clan, or is it the male that?
Well, you'll find out that actually the male, or the clan leader, if you will. Now, what Lonnie was saying is absolutely correct. That a lot of times, if there's a lot of females And the reason they put certain territorial markers in certain areas is a lot of times when a juvenile reaches the age of 8 years old, they start becoming mature and they leave that group because they're not allowed to marry or mate in that group, or they're kicked out by the dominant one. So they're on the path to other clans trying to find a mate. If once they come up to these territorial markers, they stop. They have to get permission to enter that territory. But once they enter that territory, if they meet up with a young one, young female, then they have to get permission, if you will, from that clan leader and from the dominant female. And they have two choices. They would be allowed to stay or leave and start their own clans. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And basically what he's saying with permission, he's not saying that they go up and they ask, for people that don't understand. They don't just go up and say, hey, can I date your daughter? What it is they get accepted like any other animal into a group. And once they're accepted into that group, being that they're not of the same basically like brother and sister,
bloodline.
That they're in a different bloodline, that they actually can be accepted into a group. Then, they have a chance of pairing up with a female that starts to hang with them. Or when a female hangs with them, naturally, any male in that group that's dominant is liable to not only put the juvenile, the one that's come into their group that they accepted in,
Exactly.
he could put him out and the female back out for actually breeding with him and run them back out of the group, and then they'll be stuck on their own, and they'll have to live on their own, out in the forestry and make their own territory.
There's one thing that Lonnie said there that hits a point, and when he said that they have to be accepted, and it takes a while because they're being watched, and to see what that attitude is, see what that male is really up to. In order for him to be accepted, it takes quite a while. And it's up, like I said, it's up to the dominant ones. And Lonnie's hit it right on the head.
But some groups, if a male comes in, and just say, for instance, you have a small group of females. Say you've got a male with maybe 2 or 3 females in that group. That male might not be accepted into that group, just for the simple fact that this dominant male is not going to allow another male around these 3 females, or 2 females, or whatever. But if you have a group that might have 2 or 3, 4 males in a group, and say 4, 5, 6 females in a group, then he might be able to be accepted into a group to go on and carry on with that group and hang out until actually a female pairs up with him for them to start with. But they're not just going to jump in a group and take right off. That would never happen, because that would be like somebody coming to your house and saying, hey, I'm going to come and take your daughter out. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
It ain't happening.
We all have daughters, and I've got them, and that's not happening, So that's basically, you have to be accepted into their domain area in order to be able to pair up with a female, and does it happen? I've got a research area right now that we have a young male that's been run out of the group. He's actually terrorizing the rest of this little town in Kentucky, and we're actually having some trouble, with him being in a place called Bluff City. People hear him all the time, screaming and hollering. Is he lonely? Probably. That's probably what he's trying to do, is get a female to come from a clan to try to attract him over to where he's at in this area. It's possible, but everybody in the world is scared to death because of him being there doing that. So he's not probably trying to hurt anybody. He's trying to lure a female to come to him. Hopefully one day something happens. But we go there and research all the time. Has he ever hurt anybody? No. It's actually the same male that follows Dustin Bitter when he had the hunting dog. It reflects back to that interview with Dustin Bitter of the hunting dog getting ruined. That this young male would follow him out of the woods, him and his, at the time, girlfriend, which is now his wife, Sarah, would follow him out of the woods and kind of terrorize him enough that it actually ruined Dustin's hunting dog. He had a prize championship coon dog, you know, that he really thought the world of. Would the dog ever go back there and hunt again? No, because whatever happened between this dog and what, you know, this younger juvenile Bigfoot had done, it scared that dog enough that dog wouldn't even hunt no more. Boy gives the dog away. So, you know, just because they're kicked out of a group in an area, you don't have to really say that they're going to hurt you, but they are going to try to follow you, to watch what you're doing. Maybe he's lonely. Maybe he's trying to figure out what's going on or why he's not accepted back into his group.
Curiosity.
Curiosity always kills the cat. You know, so.
I apologize for the dogs.
Fine. We love all the animals. So.
I mean, I'm so sorry about that. But if you want to learn some more, the Indiana Bigfoot Research Organization and the Kentucky Bigfoot Researchers have joined together. We're going to be able to team up together. So look us up on Facebook, look up our pages, and thanks a lot for watching.